Hello, Mustang fans, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Mustang Owners Podcast. I'm your host, John Clore, along with my co-host, Mike Ray. And whether you've known me from my time at Auto Week magazine, or maybe the Special Vehicle Team, or Ford Racing, or Ford Performance, or known Mike from his time with Team Mustang, or maybe it was with Roush, or Celine, or the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan, that's our story. We want to know your story. Tonight we have a very special episode coming to you with a live town hall recording from the Fall Ford Fest. Mike, we're here in Baraboo, Wisconsin with Dan Neve's Cruise for a Cause. We've been here before, but this is more fun tonight because we got 300 fans out here ready to ask us some questions.
This is my 7th time here, and absolutely love it each and every time. Dan puts on a great event for a great cause, and we're really, really excited to be here and to do this. We did this at Carlisle for the first time. It was very, very successful, and we can't wait to hear your guys' questions tonight.
Okay, it's Ask Us Anything. If it's a Ford future product question, we'll dance around that because I still work at the company. Mike can handle those questions and he can't get in trouble. But we want to answer any question you have about the Mustang hobby, Ford, the club world, the club life, the entire lifestyle. We're ready to take it on. If you have a question for us, you can start with that question. And when you're done, we'll give you a thumbs up. You grab one of those beautiful Ford Performance tote bags, and you get a garage banner just for asking the question. All right, let's go with question number one.
Let's do it.
All right, take off.
Will they ever come up with a all-wheel drive Mustang?
Future product.
Well, the question was, will they be coming up with an all-wheel drive Mustang? So you obviously have been reading some reports, maybe Ford Authority, that says there are some vehicles like that being tested. A lot of you out there want, especially in Wisconsin, Mike, I know especially in the Northeast.
Yeah.
You know, they realize that Subaru has all-wheel drive vehicles and some of them are performance vehicles, and that is a drawing card for some people. So is one being tested and looked at? We can probably say yes. Will they do it? What's your answer, Mike?
Can't speak about future product.
We can talk about future product. The world champion Detroit Lions are, sorry. They're next to Ford Motor Company, but look for news about that possibility coming up shortly. Thanks for that question. Grab yourself a little pouch there and take it back to your table. Thanks for that one. Good one, but again, future product. If I wasn't still working there, I'd have a better answer for you.
Go ahead, next up.
Next up.
Unfortunately, another future product question, but
Okay.
Any chances of a Boss Mustang coming out?
Closer.
A Boss Mustang?
Yeah, they're bringing back the Boss name.
Future product.
In
future product, guys.
In
Or I
Ford
can ask you
marketing,
about Mustang 2 stuff.
in Ford marketing, the legacy names are really important. As you know, we didn't come out with Boss 281 until we had a 302, a 5-liter in the car. We did look at Boss 281 for a while, and it just didn't make sense. For us to use the Boss name up until the current management was in place, you had to race a Boss. So unless we were going to take it racing, like a lot of people say, they're going to do a Boss 429 or the Boss whatever. Any Boss name we use at Ford will have to be raced. So that decision will have to come from Mark Rushbrook, head of now the new Ford Racing. So it'll have to be tied to a program. Look for information from IMSA to see if we're going to add those cars to our racing series. Right now, it's GT3s?
Yeah, GT3s are in the program
Or
now.
GTDs, yeah. So I would say you'd have to wait until they appear on the track before they do a street car. Thank you, and grab yourself a prize.
Next up.
Come on, Mike, future product.
Gentlemen,
No future product. What do we got?
no future product. Artificial intelligence says flat rock tours are available. Could you elaborate on that, please?
So there are a couple flat rock tours that usually the last couple years have been the week after the Woodward Dream Cruise. We can't coincide with it during it, and you got to remember sometimes they do plant shutdowns, so there's changeover and stuff around that timing. So I know they're looking into future for like springtime. But we're always going to have one around Woodward time, but it's usually after, and people from out of town are already gone and on their way back home. Right. But look forward to that. Hopefully, we're going to have they'll have them like maybe quarterly, and they'll have certain dates and things like that. So stay tuned. That news will be put out for sure if they go live with it.
You'll see that story on FordRacing.com right now. The Flat Rock did have a tour, but they tied it to the UAW and the Flat Rock employees' own car show, the Veterans Car Show, and that's when they gave the tours. Right now, Mike, they've been keeping it to their own show. We've been begging them for a Flat Rock tour. I know you guys have probably been on the F-150 tour.
We also got to remember, too, they were just doing changeover for 26, so that had a lot to do with it this year as well.
And even if you got in this year, you couldn't take pictures inside, and the plant wasn't running. So
It was a static tour this time.
we will keep pushing them for you. And if we can get that, you look for that information on FordPerformance.com.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
All right, grab a prize. Thanks for that question.
Next up.
Yes, mine revolves around the VIN number for the Ford Mustang. I have a 2008, and in the 9th spot is an X. I can't figure out what the X is for.
All right, so the best way to approach that, are you a member of the Special Vehicle Registry? All right, so you can go to FordSpecialVehicleRegistry.com, put your VIN number in, and register your Mustang with Ford Motor Company. That is not like a third party, Mike. That's the Team Mustang.
That or another little quick tip that'll probably happen a little bit quicker too. I would do that as well because there's other benefits involved with that. But contact Mustang Marie. She can do it off the top of her head. If you guys ever heard of Mustang Marie, she used to work at Ford and she used to know almost all the VIN numbers for first-gen Mustangs, believe it or not, and could give you a breakdown if you read her the VIN number.
But if you put that VIN number in, and what'll happen is you'll get all the Navis data, which is the data you would have found underneath your, some of you guys have taken your seat apart and looked for that little piece of paper.
Yep.
That's the Navis data. So join the Special Vehicle Registry. Once you get in there, you can send a question to them, and they can chase it all the way down to Kevin Marty for
And
you.
you can also put pictures of your vehicle and everything in there, so if people are looking for a car, they can look to the registry.
That's the
to get
cool
that.
part. Yeah, you put your. By the way, if you're going to put a picture in there, we don't want a picture of you in a Speedo next to your Mustang. No offense. No, you're in great shape, but okay. But I would recommend the Special Vehicle Registry.
All right.
Thank you,
you.
man. Grab a
Yep.
prize. All right,
Guys,
go ahead. What's your
Okay.
question?
it's all about Roush Performance.
Can't hear
I
you.
think It's about Roush Performance.
Roush.
Yep.
Roush used to have Road Crew Club for us members, and then Roush up and flat out dumped us. What do you think? I know how I feel. Roush is a bad taste in my mouth right now.
Yeah, I hear it, and I've heard it from a lot of the road crew members. If anybody wasn't aware, I was at Roush for 5 years and ran the road crew. This was one of our biggest events each and
Yeah, right
every
here.
year was
Yep.
here.
Right.
Here in Carlisle it was, and I feel so bad for all the members that are there because you guys are the choir. You guys are the ones, the brand ambassadors that are around the country for it. I have spoke my thoughts on that to Roush, to Jack Roush Jr. and to the team. I'm going to reiterate this right now and let them know that this came up here tonight. And Jack Jr., if you're watching, we need some answers for these guys because it's important. They love the cars, they love the product, and they want to stay devoted. And they need some kind of organization to help show the benefits of doing that for us. So I will bring that back to Michigan. And next time I talk to Jack Jr., which I do at least once a month, I'm going to reiterate that again, and I'll have him watch this podcast as well.
That's a great question. We do have a new Ford community engagement specialist at Ford. Hannah Evans was at Carlisle. How many people, raise your hand if you have a special Mustang and you want Ford to support a group for it? Would you like the Ford support for your group? Yeah, I think Roush Road Crew was a great group. They were here a
was
lot.
fun.
So maybe we can persuade them to get back into that business. Because when they help the clubs and the groups behind those special cars, it helps you. And you're just going forth and preaching the gospel about Mustang. So thanks for that question. Good
Yeah,
one.
I will definitely take it back for you, I promise.
Grab
Thank
yourself
you.
a prize.
Thank you much.
Thank you. All right, what's the next question here on the Mustang Owners Podcast? We hope you're enjoying the time on the podcast. This is what we do. We love the lifestyle. We love the questions. Let's keep them coming. What's your question tonight?
With recent production ending of the Charger Camaro and decreasing sales of the Mustang since 2004, 2005, right? Demand is going away for the Mustang. Should we be concerned here that we do not see continued production after 2026?
Answer is flat out no. you should not have to worry about Mustang. Mustang's not going anywhere. From everything that we've heard in current leadership and management, Mustang is not going away. And the reason the EV, the Mach-E and everything was built was so we can continue to still build the V8s.
Yeah, and you should know that, yeah, isn't that great news? From Bill Ford Jr. All the way down to Jim Farley, if Mustang becomes a niche product, much like you Corvette fans, they don't make a hell of a lot of Corvettes, but they still make them because that's the heart and soul of Chevrolet. And we believe, as Ford people, what would Ford be without the Mustang? Even if we sold only 20,000, what would they be? We're driving the heart and soul of Ford. You're driving Ford passion. And I think from the top of the house on down through the CEO and much of upper management, even through Ford Performance and Ford Racing, they're going to put a Mustang in that lineup, a gasoline Mustang. And Mike, they're going to have V8s. So we're going to keep it in production. And the only thing we can hope for is what did we do wrong with our kids that they're not buying them other than charging $70,000 for them, Mike?
But let me add to that though too. Not a lot of fans of the Mustang Mach-E, right? But the biggest takeaway from that car is it allows them to keep building the V8s.
Yeah, so we'll keep it into production. Really good question. But as far as we know, yes, grab yourself a prize for that one. All right, that was a tough one, Mike.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
My question is, which one of the Mustang engines is your favorite, and what are your thoughts on the 5.8?
Go ahead. You can take that favorite engine.
Favorite engine of Mustangs of all time? Wow, that's a tough one. Okay, I would say I did a book called Mustang Dynasty back in 2007. And in that book, in the front cover was a CD. Remember those CDs? I'm not talking about your certificate of deposit. I'm talking about the stuff. Anyway, I had a CD of Mustang engine sounds. This guy gave me a clock, and it had Mustang engine sounds on it.
Have you guys had that clock, that Mustang clock, where every hour a different engine or exhaust goes off?
Yeah, I got that.
Right.
We were involved in help making that happen as well.
So unfortunately, for some of you people that have not got a newer Mustang past, say, 2015, my favorite would be the Cobra Jet 428. I know you Terminator guys, that was a leap forward. Once we put a supercharger on the Mustang, we changed the world. But today's Coyote, non-supercharged Coyote, is an absolute piece of art. So I did do a column once about my favorite, the Mustang engine that changed the world, and Mike, I called it the Terminator because once the blower came on, I remember a Camaro guy came by our tent one day and said, yeah, you had to put a blower on it to make it fast. And I said, yeah, you had to go out of market to go find out what you're going to be when you grow up. So great engine on the Terminator, but I would say the most significant in my looking back was the 428 Cobra Jet, which made Mustang a muscle car. And today, Mike,
I would agree with John on
don't
that.
you think the Coyote is going to overtake that very soon?
Yeah.
Beautiful motor. Great question. I hate when you put me on the spot like that. But go ahead and
Thank
take
you.
yourself a prize.
Here's the big dog.
Oh no, this one's going to be
Everybody
tough.
strap in.
All right, get ready.
You
Everyone.
fellers look like you're pretty smart.
We can't hear you. Guys, can we keep it down a little bit? We can't hear the questions. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, you guys look like you're pretty smart. So age old question, the horse or the plane, John? Which is it?
Oh, please. If anyone still is in this room and you think the Mustang was named after a plane, please leave directly after the raffle. Because
Very true. That's such a big myth that car was named after a plane. We can assure you it was absolutely named after the horse.
Tim, that is the number one thing. You go onto YouTube and you got this 12-year-old telling you Mustang history. John Najar named it after a plane. And guess what, folks? It was never, ever named after a plane. The earliest documents in archives is always named, a Mustang 1 was a horse. And the reason behind that, Ford Motor Company and the family never liked to name something after a weapon of war. And the P-51 Mustang, the greatest fighter plane ever, but guess what? They didn't want to do that. At SVT, we were going to name our little Ford Focus the Sidewinder. But they said no, because that's a missile used by the U.S. Navy. So No, never named after a plane. If you read that, you're reading the wrong thing. All this means, Mike, is they're not paying attention to the Mustang Owners podcast.
And another thing, guys, too, with that is that actual topic has came up on the podcast before, and myself and John were very, very fortunate to be very good friends with Gail Halderman, who was on the original team, the guy who drew the original car. We've had many talks with him and all this, and we've went through it all. It came from the horse's mouth, as we call it, and the plane was never it.
It's not like that old TV series, The Plane. It's not the plane. Hal Sperlich himself, which we were blessed to talk to, the father of the Mustang, debunked that whole idea. So if you ever hear that, if someone's talking to you and say, hey, you know, a Mustang was named after a plane, get a new friend.
And don't believe everything on the internet.
That's right. It must be true because I saw it on the internet, except on the Mustang Owners podcast.
Thanks, Tim.
Grab yourself a prize. I hate that named after a plane thing. Can that stop somewhere?
What you got?
All right, what's your question?
I know Ford's not going to build a Shelby Mustang anymore, but what about the Cobra nameplate? Is that dead too?
Wow. Well, I wouldn't say they're not going to build a Shelby Mustang anymore because that's what they said in the early 90s. And I was at SVT, and all of a sudden I see Carroll Shelby walk in with Edsel Ford, and I thought, oh, something's going on. And then our 2006 SVT Mustang Cobra never came to market. Anybody got an 06 Cobra? Liar. You don't have one. You know why? Because it's an 07 Shelby GT500. So we never thought that relationship would work again. And they've been in and out of the market. You know, the 350, they did their own. Then we came back in with a 350. So as it ebbs and tides, the issue right now is some of your young people out there that love Mustang, they don't know who Carroll Shelby is. That's the problem. We've done some research. Mike, you know what they said? Do you know who Carroll Shelby is? And one of the answers was, wasn't she a race car driver?
He made good chili.
Yeah, but you know, another thing too, though, and Shelby is still in continuous production on their own vehicles as well. So they're creating their own GT500, GT350, signature editions, Super Snakes, any of that stuff right now. That's still all being built out of Vegas as well. They're in limited quantities, but they are still producing on the Shelby end of it.
So
What
Ford,
about
right now,
the Cobra emblem?
Well,
What was it?
The Cobra, is that Ford or is that Shelby?
We still own the Cobra name. And we thought the last couple of before Dark Horse came out, a lot of people thought that we could have used Cobra for that. But right now, Ford looked at some research and they thought that young people are tired of using all of our favorite Mustangs and they wanted their own performance car. So this one, maybe the next one will have new names for them. But the Cobra is a really good, it's always in the running when we do a little vote at Ford.
Okay.
So keep your fingers crossed for a new Cobra.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Grab
you.
yourself a prize. Thank you. All righty.
All right, so your last statement there about the Dark Horse being one of their own actually kind of leads into my question. What do you do to get the youth more interested in cool cars? Most of my friends could care less. They drive run-of-the-mill SUVs. They don't care about horsepower. They don't care about anything that way. What can Ford do to change the car culture? Is there any works with Hollywood to, you know, a new Fast and Furious that's not Fast and Furious? You know, something that way that Ford could get involved with? Anything going on that way?
That's a great question. Mike has been working on this question for 10 years with his Club Summit. But let me tell you this. I have news for you. Ford Motor Company is launching in the first week in November in Los Angeles their attempt to do just what you're saying. It's called the Mustang Experiential. They're going to give MCA members beginning with a discount. It'll be in my Ford Performance Corner column in Mustang Times next month. But they're going to try to wake up young people to understand why we're sitting in this room, why we spent 4 days in Wisconsin playing with the coolest car on the planet. The problem is a lot of young people have been driving imports, Mike.
Yep.
And they leave their McDonald's bags in the back seat of their Honda Civic. They don't care what that looks like. And those, I feel sorry for those guys because they're never going to get a girlfriend. Or they're going to get a girlfriend who has a Kia Soul, or what is that car I mentioned?
Don't bring that up again.
Oh,
That
sorry,
didn't go
yeah.
good Thursday night.
No, sorry. So what Ford is doing is we have a new website, Mustang Unleashed. Check that out.
Okay.
We're going to have a new experiential program we're going to launch because they don't believe that young people understand what it's like to get in your car and to drive off in your car, and the feeling that all of you get when you drive your Mustang, you get this. If anybody in here drives a, like, I don't know, a Nissan Sentra, you don't get this.
Right.
When you drive everybody in this room has had driven their Mustang and got this, because guess what? It just means that you and everybody in here is cooler than all your friends. So get new friends and don't talk to your children anymore. I blame the parents. So Mike, what about that summit?
Yeah, so we do a summit each and every year. I'm the president of the International Council of Mustang Clubs across the globe, and we do a summit each year with all the clubs that are from anywhere in the country are welcome. So we send out an invite. Some people attend in person, and then some people will do it via Zoom. We usually have 30 to 40 representatives in person and 40 to 50 at least via Zoom, so just under 100 each year to share best practices, suggestions for Ford Motor Company, things like that, and they always attend as well. So it's your way to share it, get the platform to maybe another club has done something that's not working for your club, or that we can relay to Ford, such as your question as well, about getting the younger groups involved, or another club around the country may already have an answer for that of how it's working for them as well. So if you guys are interested in that, please just send us a note and I can get you involved with that as well.
One thing we can do for you, if you want to know some of the ways that other clubs, we went to a club in South Texas that didn't have anybody on the board of directors over the age of 40. How did they do that? How do they get all the high school kids to show up at their car show? How does that happen? Well, we figured that out, and if your club or group would like to find out what we found out, you can contact us at clubhub@ford.com and ask us to do a Zoom call with you, or maybe come down and do a presentation of all the stuff we found out the clubs are doing to get kids involved. And we want to do that for you. So clubhub@ford.com, send us a note, and maybe we can set that up for you.
That sounds great.
In the meantime, maybe what we'll do, how many people think we should tackle this topic on the Mustang Owners Podcast so you can watch it on YouTube? Anybody?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it, Mike.
There you go. Thank you for that. That was a great question.
Great question.
Thank you.
Grab yourself a prize. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do a Zoom. Let's do a
everybody there.
podcast on getting kids
everybody
involved. Yeah. Good one. Good one. Hi there.
Hi there. Back in the 60s, my grandfather actually was the general manager at Frontier Ford in Rockford, Illinois, and he had the opportunity to buy a Shelby somewhere in the 60s. I wasn't sure what it was, the light green color. We don't know if it's Legend Lime or what it was, but he had to end up selling it. So I was always trying to figure out what was that car that he bought. It was one of the first Shelbys.
I think the best answer for that, if you are not in Shelby American SAC Club, they make the Shelby American Registry, and I know Rick Kopech just retired, Mike.
Yeah.
But those guys have kept the absolute best record history of any Shelby ever built. Anything that walked through that Carroll Shelby shop, they have records on. They can answer any question for you. In today's new group, I think, is what, Team Shelby?
Yeah.
You'll see Gary Patterson's name up there.
Yeah.
You can contact Team Shelby right now, and they will look into their archives, and they can tell you answer any question about any Shelby ever made. Mike, I have that big Shelby registry. Everybody ever buy that book? It was like $400.
Big Bible, yeah.
It's the Bible of Shelby's.
But you know what? If you want to see us after, come see one of us right here.
Okay.
We're both very close and with Gary Patterson from Shelby. So we can reach out to him too and see what they have over there. And he might know off the top of his head. He may have heard that question before.
You got to find out that info. It's part of your family.
Okay.
Yeah, come see us after. We'll give you our contact
Great
for,
question.
for sure.
If there's any prizes left, grab a prize.
Okay.
Good.
I got one more question for
Yeah.
you. Out of all the Mustang engines, which one sounds the best?
Sounds the best?
Yeah.
Sorry, I say dual quad 428. I'm sorry. Now,
I say Cobra Jet.
Well, how many people have a flat plane crank GT350? You have a GT350?
That too. That's another
On
that's up there.
cam with a flat plane crank GT350 on the track. When you hear that, it makes some kind of Ferrari type music that I've never heard before. That's pretty damn close. But I would say, Cobra Jet, Super Cobra Jet Mustang 428. A single four barrel's okay, but a dual quad, Mike. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll make the little hairs on your arm stand up. If you listen to a 428 and it didn't change your mood, folks, you need to go buy a different car or get an Uber. You don't deserve to drive a Mustang. Great question.
All right,
Grab
thank
yourself
you.
a prize
All
if
right,
we have
thank
any
you.
left. Thank you.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. There was too much testosterone in this line, so that's why.
There you go.
Listen, I represent NEW Stangs. I'm the president of the club in this area. We have a lot of members here today, so we're very excited. My husband and I are also the proud owners of 5 Mustangs.
Oh, wow.
We have a special one, and this is my question. We have a 1985 Twister 2 special. They
Love
made
it.
90 of those for the Kansas City area. We have one of the 2 that were automatics. I also have possession of all 90 VIN numbers. Wow. How do I find out if there are other ones out there still? I have all the marketing material. I have all the press releases. But I have these 90 VIN numbers, and I want to know how to find others that have those cars.
Have you thought about doing a Facebook group for the Twisters for that?
Have not.
That's where I would probably start as social media, because someone will see it and know someone that has it, and just it'll trickle from there.
Okay.
And then if it gets big enough, you can create a website, or a registry for that as well.
Right on.
But I mean, I think that would be the quickest and easiest way to start getting feelers out there.
Have you contacted Jeff Yurgovich of RNA Motorsports?
Oh, I know him, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff was the one that had the original Twisters, and when they did Twister 2s, he did that through that same Kansas City shop.
Right.
So he probably has all that working knowledge of the VINs. He's that kind of a guy because he does restorations.
Right.
You might want to check with Jeff. I know that he's still an MCA judge, and you can reach out to the MCA and get Jeff to respond to you, or send me a note to clubhub@ford.com, and I'll forward it on. That's a cool little car.
Yeah, it is.
And
And we have one in great condition. It's amazing that it's survived.
Another cool thing is you can probably work with Kevin Marty as well after the fact, if you do start getting these owners, to get the information for them each one as well, if they don't have it.
And when you have your first Twister 2 reunion, we'll come out.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
all right. Thank
Great,
you.
great job. Grab yourself a prize. Any more questions we
One
have?
more? Go ahead.
All right, just a little more testosterone.
All right, let's do it.
I'm Larry from the Chi-Town Mustang Club. Is Ford considering bringing out a low-content Mustang and resurrecting the LX?
Mike, we had this question with the S550 program and with the S197 program. Remember we had a stripper SN95, roll-up windows?
Yeah.
And then that has been discussed. And here's the problem. You folks looking for a cheap Mustang, just a base car. The problem is nobody likes roll-up windows. All of you like air conditioning. But I did write a column on, can we go back to just knobs instead of this on the touch screen? Kids love the bigger screen, but when I get into my Mustang, I don't want to play a video game. I want to know where the heater is. That's it.
That's literally been brought up so much recently that you just said that.
Yeah, so it's good to know that even Volkswagen is looking at taking out some of the electronics, putting knobs back in, and reducing the cost of their car. And I know this, Ford has a partnership right now with Volkswagen, at least on the electric cars. If they do cooperate with some, I think, Mike, engineering, there's a possibility, especially as Ford looks to reasons why young people aren't buying a $70,000 Mustang. If it went down by 20 grand, it would help. So I think as Ford looks at ways to decontent the car, what makes sense to take out of it? Don't take out the air, but I could lose some of that tech.
Yeah, but the price needs to come down so the younger generation can afford it.
And if you guys need if anybody in the room really wants and needs a sensor in the back seat to remind you left your kid in there, please stop driving.
Yeah, I asked because I work in IT, and we all know the more computers you put in there, the more points of failure are in there.
All right, so the best answer is you just answer your own question. Buy a first gen, second gen, or third gen Mustang. There you go. Even fourth gen. It'd be a lot easier. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question.
Guys, is there any ties between Ford corporate or support directly with the Mustang Owners Museum in North Carolina?
There is no corporate support for the Mustang Owners Museum in North Carolina. There is, however, friendships between Ford Design and Ford Archives, also Ford Communications. So they do try to support certain programs there, but as a general rule, they don't write a check or anything right now. God bless you Ford enthusiasts who made your own museum, who celebrate Ford on your own, and do an event like this, because Ford is looking down the road trying to get that 19-year-old, and they're not looking back. So
And without the Mustang Owners Museum, we wouldn't be sitting here tonight.
This started with Steve Hall in the Mustang Owners Museum. So right now, no, but guess what? They're now paying more attention. And how do they do that? By you guys going there and visiting and saying what a cool time it is to go there. So really good question, and we think Ford needs to do more of that.
That's great. I would love to see it eclipse the Corvette Museum.
Yeah,
There you go.
All right, what we're not going to do is we're not going to put a sinkhole there, though, okay? No sinkhole in Charlotte.
No, don't drop any in the ground.
That's right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Campbell?
You guys have worked in and around autos and icons of these companies. What's your favorite story or boss or just something that strikes your memory that really makes you feel good about autos?
I have a four-way tie for me. It's Gail Halderman, Hal Sperlich, Dave Parasek, and John Coletti. Those are my four for sure.
That's not a fair question, Mike. That's the longer you stay at Ford, the more you realize there are so many people on Mustang who are so passionate about this car. And yeah, we've been blessed to know some of them. Our favorites, I've had a long-standing relationship with both Hal Sperlich and Gail Halderman. You can't beat those two guys. Joe Oros, Iacocca, we both had won an Iacocca award. We didn't get to spend any time with Lee Iacocca. But the champions of today, guys like Art Hyde, who did two Mustangs, SN95 and S197. I mean, he started the Dream Cruise, the Mustang Alley. I mean, he's a cool, super cool guy. And Dave Parasek, John Coletti, these guys, all right, I'm going to say it out loud, and if they don't like it, that's fine. They're crazy. They're crazy about Mustangs. And their passion is, both of those guys could have been fired from things they've done, and we don't want to get into the stories until after I retire. But you'll hear it on the Mustang Owners Podcast first. And if you'd like, John Coletti got himself in a little bit of trouble, so go back on the Mustang Owners Podcast and check out his episode. And the stuff he did, especially Mike with the Cleveland engine plant.
Oh, God.
He ratted on himself. So I think, Coletti, Halderman, Sperlich, and Parasek for today. And don't forget about Art Hyde, too.
Oh, yeah, we can even go on and on.
Bud
But those guys stand
McGaldy,
out to me the most.
Mike, people that you and Christine have met in Detroit are the people that drive us. And you, every one of you out there that supports Mustang and comes to events like this, you drive their passion at Ford. They want to meet you. So keep it going. Keep coming to events like this. Great question, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
We got one last question?
One last. Yep, one more.
No, actually, we're going to end it. We appreciate your time, and that was the last question.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Just remember, all we need you to do is get online, either Spotify or I like it on YouTube. Make sure if you go to the Mustang Owners Podcast that you hit that like button, because what that does, it beats the YouTube algorithm and shares this content. If you like content like this, go give it a like, subscribe. You can get your Mustang Owners Podcast apparel, svtstore.com. And just realize we want to be telling your story, so check us out every week with a new episode. And until then, just remember, we'll just have to catch you down the road. Thanks for joining us. Give yourself an applause.